Welcome to the Vibe With Us podcast. This podcast has been created to build a platform where voices are heard, stories are shared and told, and vision is defined. In today's episode, we are interviewing Diego Rodriguez. Tune in for a fun conversation where we get to meet Diego and hear his thoughts on life changes, dream chasing, and his perspective on topics relevant to young adults. Diego serves on several teams at New Life Church and is a student at the NLC Bible College. What's up, Diego?
What's up, Kyle?
Bro, I'm excited you're here. I'm excited we're going to get to do this. I've had the pleasure of serving on team with you now for a while, and it's been always a pleasure, like doing team building events, serving on team. You bring so much life to everything. So I'm excited for us to dive in. I've gotten to do this now at least once, and even though I might know the person that's sitting on the other chair, as soon as we start talking about some topics, I'm like, man, I didn't know that. I didn't know this. I didn't know this, and results in some fun conversation. I'm excited for us to jump in. Thanks for coming out, bro.
Cool, thank you. Thank you for the invitation. Man.
Absolutely. Shout out to Vibe With Us podcast crew. Thank you for setting this up. Yeah.
Thank you,
so,
guys.
To start, tell us a little bit about who Diego Rodriguez is, a little bit of your story. How'd you get to New Life? Lead us there. What's that story?
Diego Rodriguez.
In the third person.
Third person. Yeah, I'm Brazilian guy, so I'm living here in USA about 5 years. And
Cool.
First time I came here, I lived in Novato, close to the church. So
Yeah.
And I saw this church. I was going to Brazilian church before, like 1, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, kind of. And I always cross through the Novato Boulevard, and I saw the temple. Oh, looks like a Catholic church, because in Brazil you don't have like the Protestant
Big
church.
temple
It's
looking.
not like this.
Yeah.
It was not allowed in that time. So
And what other people might not know is, like, it is very common, right? If you're from another country, you come to the U.S., and the U.S. has a lot of churches in your language, in your culture. Like, I know my family, we went to a Brazilian church as well. It's normal.
Yeah. So I was crossing by, and sometime I'm gonna jump in this church, like, just to see how it goes. So because I was going in Brazilian church, I would like to get in the culture, make new friends, and see what happens. And it's still here about 5 years.
That's awesome, man. That's cool. And even that part of the story, right? Like, because I'm assuming just like most people, when they immigrate, when they come to another country, you don't speak the language yet. There is a little bit of the culture barrier. Talk a little bit about, how scary that change was, like leaving behind something that was defined, more certain, more known, to then coming here to the big United States.
Oh yeah, that's a hard part, because when you go to the place, like I was 26, like you came here early, so you dominate two languages, so it's pretty easy. To me, I got only the Portuguese, a little bit of Spanish because it's similar, but I did a lot of classes in Brazil, English classes, but it's not the same. We learned like the British English, so when we got here, I say, yo, what's up? Like, language
you were
like
confused,
this.
you're
So,
like, what is this?
Yeah, what is this guy
What have they been
about?
teaching me all along in Brazil?
I took a kind of 1 year just to adapt for this new kind of language.
You know what's crazy about that side story? Because I came when I was 1 years old, and then I went back to Brazil. So while I was in Brazil from age 7 to 12, I still remembered a little bit of English. Not a lot, I forgot a little bit of it. But I remember learning English there and telling my teachers, like, this is not how we actually talk. Like, why are you guys pronouncing it this way? Why do you sound like you're not from America? But I didn't know it was British English. But anyways, like, there is a big difference between what we're getting taught there.
Like, even like you're gonna say Beetle, you're gonna say Beetle. So it's totally different. We learn a new language, so it's pretty different to us. So
Totally.
Yeah, so when you have this barrier in your face, like I know many people like from Brazil, from other countries, living here, but they still don't know the English very well, so they keep quiet in their room, so they don't make new friends because they're scared. Because it's hard to make friends if you don't talk the language. What are you gonna offer to other people? What are you gonna offer for someone who don't talk your language? So to me, it was kind of like this when I came to New Life. I didn't know much English, barely could talk in English, but I started coming to the events. Like you went to the Pismo Beach, so I was getting involved. So
Pismo Beach was the Vibe Young Adults Beach Retreat. Getaway, which was awesome.
2016, first time I surfed Buddy James.
Shout out to Buddy James.
Thanks, Buddy. Actually, Buddy was the first person who came to talk to me on the first day I came here. That's why I kept in this church. I think I told this story before to the guys here. But Barry James and Nick, remember Nick, the bassist?
Bassist Nick, yeah. Shout out to
First
Nick.
time I came here, they came up and started talking to me. That was good,
Yeah.
good welcoming to me. So, and yeah, you have to go to hunt to the field, because if you keep in your home, you're never gonna like go to the next step. Yes, you know. So you have to learn the language, you have to know the culture. What those guys, what are they doing?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
just get involved. I never have problem with that, getting involved with the people. I'm always like involved in something like sports, church.
Yeah. And I would say like now that I've gotten to know you more, and people like on our teams even will say like, Diego, you're very outgoing. Like you're joking around, you're punking people out sometimes. Like there's always something going on. But I remember the first time I met you, right? It was probably like 3-4 years ago. You were a little bit more quiet. You were a little bit more like more to yourself. Like what's changed? What do you think's changed?
Actually, the language was like fancy to me, so I could not be myself. When you learn another language, you have two personalities. So I have the Brazilian Diego. That was a guy. When you know my this side because you talk the language.
Oh yeah.
When you go to like the Philippines,
I can't keep up with Diego, Brazilian Diego.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, dude, I honestly, I'm like, my Portuguese is not even that good to keep up with you. It's too many jokes back to back.
Yeah, I'm that guy. Like 25 years, that guy, I live that guy. So the American Diego, like only 5 years. I'm still like getting like keep side by side. But the language was the reason I was most quiet. And yeah. And I didn't know the people as well, so it's totally different. Like I like to joke all the time. You know, the Brazilian guys, they're all laughing for everything.
Oh yeah,
everything's
a joke.
Filter.
Everything's a joke.
Everything.
I'm like, I can't tell. Like the years I spent in Brazil, I'm like, I don't know if I was getting bullied or just having fun with friends. Like it was always something.
There's
something
no limit.
There's no limit at all.
And here's different. Like you cannot like talk the way you talk in Brazil because people are getting. I don't know if it's here or it's the generation because it's going too fast.
I don't know.
I think in Brazil nowadays it's the same thing.
It's changing as well.
They are getting offended for, you know, I'm from 80s guys, so I kind of don't understand.
From the 80s, bro?
89. I'm from 89.
I'm just kidding.
December 89. I'm still 80.
No, that's good perspective, man. And here's what's interesting. Like obviously, what you're talking about is a little bit of like a culture, language barrier that you were facing, which is scary, right? Like you could have chosen to just, I'm going to stick to Brazilian church. I'm going to stick to just staying home, staying with family, what I know, what feels familiar, and it would have been okay. I want to say, right, it's okay because a lot of people do that. But I feel like, I mean, just knowing you now, there's so much life and thriving and like growth in your life right now that I think is a result of you saying, you know what, Lord, I'm gonna jump into this like unknown. I'm gonna feel a little uncomfortable. I'm not gonna be the same Diego that has a confidence 110% in Portuguese. Now, you know, I need to kind of learn that in English now. That's huge because it translates to anything else. Any other circumstance people might be in, though they might not have that cultural barrier or that language barrier. I think people find themselves in situations where they're like, I don't know the exact words. I don't know how to talk in this situation. I don't know how to deal with this right now in my life. But there's something about being able to trust, like, okay, I know this is going to lead to good. Let me trust that I need to jump into this, though it's not comfortable. I think there's a story there. There's a truth there.
Yeah, it's a kind of life lesson as well, because you have to be uncomfortable if you want something more in your life. You cannot be stopped. You cannot be still forever. So do the same thing, expect a different thing. I think Einstein said that. So and that's why you always like. I left my country, I'm living another place. I'm not gonna keep my country in another country, you know what I mean? So, okay, it's good. I have a community here. We can like feel at home again, but they have, like you said, they have the whole world, more life beyond this line, beyond the horizon. So I'm not that guy who's gonna stay in my bed,
in your comfortable zone,
in comfortable zone. So I don't fear make mistake. I don't feel failure, and so I'm always like, let's do it. You just pick me up to play bass, never play bass before. Let's do it. So I like this sensation. I like those kind of feeling you have. Oh, I'm doing something new now, and I don't know what I'm gonna do. Like I'm doing podcast right now for the first time. You ask me, Pastor Dave, hey, you want to do the post? Of course, I want to do that. So I'm saying yes for
Anything,
everything.
it's green light for anything.
Remember
Yeah, I
that
love
movie, Yes Sir, with Jim Carrey? It's kind of that movie. So he's saying it's a cool.
Let's do it. Let's do it. Yeah,
do
yeah.
it. You're gonna
I don't know
like
if I
bring-
remember it because I'm not that good with
Because
movies.
he's saying yes for everything. Homeless. Hey, could you give him some money? Okay, he gives some money for the homeless, and he has no money anymore
Yeah.
to put gasoline in his car. So his life changed.
That's legit.
It's a kind of funny fact, but
yeah.
it's pretty true. When you do something different, like I believe God can work in those situations and bring more life to you, more.
Come on.
Yeah, I don't know. So different things. So we aren't made to be stopped on some
No.
place. You're always going to somewhere.
Definitely.
Our
Yeah.
solar systems like this never stops.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, God's people are pilgrims, man. It's like it's almost like we're meant to, whether physically or spiritually, in our souls. There's something that there needs to be dynamic. There needs to be change. There needs to be
Yes, you got
transition.
season. Yeah, even it's on a cycle, but it has
Yeah.
always going to somewhere. And,
Yeah.
and I believe in this thing more spiritually. And that's why I bring too much to real life, like to
Yeah.
material life. So I'm always going to somewhere.
Absolutely, and it's encouraging because even you talking about it now, bro, it's like you are bringing. It's encouraging to hear whether you're somebody that you're like, okay, yeah, that's me. I feel like I'm always saying yes. I'm on board. Let's go. Or you're that person that's like, man, every time somebody asks me to do something new, I'd rather just say no. I say no. You know. So I think you carry that, dude. Like any team you serve on, you bring that as well. You bring this attitude and really an impartation of like, let's just say yes. Let's go. Let's try it, even though it's unknown, uncharted. Let's go try it out. So talk a little bit about, because being an immigrant as well, my family coming, being the first generation that came as well. I know what that story sounds like. I know my parents left things behind. They left some progress they had for the hope for the future, for a change. So I know for you have a similar story too, right? You had a path. What was the path there, and what was maybe the something I've been talking about with Pastor Caleb a lot? It's like every beginning of a story is the end of another. So even though change is good, even though change is new and fresh, there is an end. There is a book that gets closed, or there is something that you no longer have. There is maybe even a lament or a grieving. So there's something you said no to say yes to something else. Tell us a little bit about what was that no, and how hard was it? Like, how did it feel? Like, because you had other stuff going on, and it's not like you were just chilling in Brazil, not doing anything. You had stuff going on.
It's a good country to be chill, but I wish.
You can chill in Brazil. You can't just hang out. It's true.
Yeah, I have to say a lot no. So I had a career, so I stood all my life. I was studying to build a career to myself, a story. I think I was the first guy in my family who got graduated. So in Brazil, it's so hard to it's so expensive to
for college degree.
For the college degree, yeah. And to me, I was chasing that kind of dream. So I did IT. I have a degree in IT. I was doing MBA. I had my band. I was doing my sports, my hobbies. So a lot of friends, and I had to say no to all those things, But I rather say no to those things and say yes to God, because I understood it was God calling to move to another place, because I didn't any effort to be here. So even those documentation like visa stuff, interviewing stuff, my brother I think did everything. So I just I think I'm not even paid for that. It was such expensive, and my family paid everything. So of course that's God talking. Okay,
all right, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna do this thing.
Yeah, I'm gonna go and try out what's gonna happen. And in that time in Brazil, I had control of my life. I was controlling everything. I planned everything. So I was feeling good with that. But at some point, I think about myself, hey, what am I doing here?
Yeah.
So am I living my dream, my boss' dream, my parents' dreams?
Yeah.
The billboard dream, the propaganda dream, I don't know what I'm doing here. So I started thinking, that wasn't the time I believe when God revealed himself to me, because all my life I was in the church. So since I was 6 years old, but playing the worship team with my family, my brothers.
Yeah, because you grew up in a family with a bunch of musicians. Like you guys were involved in church a lot.
We were so involved. But I was going just because I have to play something. I never have that contact. I heard to me it was boring. I heard the word, okay, I'm going to play here, but okay, Sunday again, I'm going to go again. So it was like a clock in, clock out. But I never had that encounter, that meeting with God. And in here in USA was when I met God. He revealed to me and say, "Hey, stop controlling everything. Let me drive a little bit just to show who I am." So
Yeah.
and things. I have such a great experience in these 5 years I'm living here, and to me, is I'm not gonna cry. Don't worry.
Ah, there it is.
That's yours.
Go ahead. All right. I'll just keep it here for somebody else to use.
I'm the first guy in this podcast who's gonna cry.
Who's not gonna cry?
Yeah. It's easy to me. Easy.
This is easy. This is rehearsed. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Hold up, but here's the thing. Before we get all teary-eyed, you said you had a band.
Yeah,
Talk about the band. What's up with
I had
this
a lot
band,
of
bro?
bands, bro. A lot of bands.
You had a lot. Like you were a rock star in Brazil.
It's not a rock star. Like my scene in my city, in my district.
Well, I mean, you can be a big star or a tiny little star.
Depend,
I mean,
depending on the point of view. Yeah, no, so
You're a tiny rock star.
Actually, I had a lot of bands in high school, so we used to play at school. I was that guy who carried the guitar every single Friday at school.
You were that guy.
Yeah, always wearing my Ramones. Ramones is my favorite band, so I was a punk rocker. I loved to listen punk rock, hardcore, and bands from California.
Yeah.
That's why I have something with
like all the
California.
screamo stuff.
Yeah, I went 2018, 3 years ago. I went to a punk rock concert again. So it was a band Descendants.
Nice.
I'm
all right, cool.
I'm living like my dreams again because those guys they are playing again. So they are from 80s, 70s, I guess. So.
I hope I remember like hardcore was a lot bigger and it kind of dipped out. It became more of this underground thing. I'm hoping it comes back. Every now and then I'll open my Spotify and I'm like, all right, let me just go jump into some like heavy metal stuff.
Yeah. Because at that time you had like video games. Remember Tony Hawk, the skating video game. There's a lot of good bands in there. I learned a lot of bands in that game. So
absolutely.
And that time you don't have like the internet was not that kind of thing. So you have like discos stuff and friends who. If you have friends,
they would like burn discs. Here's a playlist.
And some of them bring to the school. Hey, check out this band here. And
the younger folks in our crew are gonna be like, what, a CD? Like, what do you burnt a disc? Why would you burn it? Like, that's funny.
You used to buy the whole
floppy disk. Yeah.
If you tell the kids, oh, you should buy the whole disc only for one song. Now they sell only one single, right?
Oh my gosh, yeah.
I remember buying the whole CD, whole disc with 13, 17 songs, but you only like one. So
now we stream it all.
That's a good time.
That's funny. That's cool, man. Yeah. That's legit. Here's some fun questions real quick, and then we'll go to some other ones. What are some things that people would only know about you if you told them? Like you would have to tell them this for them to know.
I used to play shirtless on the stage with heavy metal.
For the rock band? I've seen some of these photos.
I still have
don't know. I mean, go on Diego's Instagram, you'll see it. He's got some intense rock star photos.
I think it's the worst part. I keep posting that, right? Like a girl, man. Like I keep posting those photos. Yeah,
that's a fun one. That's a fun one. Tell us about this shirt. What is this shirt? What is this?
This is my soccer team in Brazil, Corinthians.
So you're still like Corinthians. It's in the Bible. Oh my gosh. So tell us a little bit about it. You're still like a soccer fan?
Of course, yeah. I think Brazil, 70% of people is a poor country. You know, we have put our hope in something like.
It's a poor country. You got to find something.
Yeah, I think that's why you love so much like soccer because we won 5 times. So we didn't know we are that good. So people like I think turn on to liking soccer, even like 1950 when we won the first World Cup. So we have
soccer's huge. Soccer's huge.
Yeah, and I'm a fanatic about soccer. So if I'm gonna plan something, I have to check my soccer team when my team is gonna play. Okay, let's do it. No, let's do it.
I feel like I've noticed you like sometimes we'll be in band practice.
Band practice.
And I'm like, man, Diego's staring at his screen like so much, and I'm like, oh.
But only in the important matches. So not like if you have a match that doesn't.
And you'll like wake up early for stuff too. Like,
of course.
Because you also watch racing too, right?
Living in California is so hard because we like the
time zone.
The time zone is so hard because the Formula 1 is 9 a.m. and 3 p.m.
So you don't sleep at all. You're like
kind of. No, I sleep one night before I get prepared. There's whole preparation. So
to watch the game at 2 or 3 of the race.
I'm not gonna surf today. Just Saturday. Saturday because tomorrow we have a race.
Yeah.
I have to watch that like this, something like
Oh
this.
my gosh, I hear you. I hear you. Here's another question. So you talked a little bit about being here in the U.S. and feeling like the Lord was then starting to speak to you, like, hey, I need you to trust me some more, trust some more, and that was kind of a moment where God became more real. Maybe we can say.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about that, because you grew up in church, like you said, went through it, you played, you served, you were part of it. It was ingrained in you almost. But tell us a little bit more about when God became real, when things changed. Like, when did it change?
Yeah, when I think it was a breakthrough when I came here to USA. Let me take some water here, and I'm gonna cry. No, look at this guy, just throwing stuff from somewhere. Yeah, when I came here, USA.
Yeah.
So when I applied for my I have my degree, so I applied for some job in my area, and I didn't get through. But I don't keep insisting, because I know if not going through, I'm not going to insist like 3-4 times, because I know God is not in there. So if it was something from God, it's going to happen. Like the same way I end up here in the USA. So I didn't any effort. So I came here. So I start working in regular jobs. Wasn't in my area, and
These jobs were not in your area?
no, I started working with food, because my family work with food since Brazil. So it's not that thing that I like it, but we work with that. And a fun thing is like a testimony. There was a job in Emerville with auto parts. I worked there for 3 years ago. I'm not working there anymore. And I was applying to Whole Foods. I was getting in the Whole Foods. It was on a Friday. So I was ready. I passed everything. So I'm gonna work in the Whole Foods on Friday. Gonna start Friday morning. And Thursday at 11, someone called my brother. Hey, I got a spot. Someone is needing someone to work in Emerville with auto parts. So someone gave me this job. I don't want it, so I'm gonna give to you. That's my brother. And my brother, I don't want it, so I'm gonna check with my brother, Diego. So this came to me. So the way God talks to me is with the circumstances, the glitch in the matrix. When I see something,
the glitches in the matrix.
When you see something strange, like you have your routine, but it's something weird happening in my day. So that I think God want to talk.
Yeah, it's like circumstantial signs, like something happens.
Yeah, I was about to start a new job at Friday, and this one came at Thursday 11. So of course, it's God in that. So I applied to this job. I worked 3 years in there, and that was so important to me, because was a easy job. So I have if I count, I work 4 hours per day, actually productive. Yeah. And I have more time. I have flexibility to solve some problems that I was looking for a house to live with my family. I was looking for. I was taking my niece to the school. I was taking care about so many things in my life that if I have a full-time job, I could have done that. So,
and that job that landed for you was the one that allowed for that time.
Fits perfectly. So and that was to me is a testimony, because God did something. I understood He opened my eyes. I could see that, and I went that, and success. So
that's awesome.
That was good to me. And those experiences, I think I didn't have that much in Brazil. I was too busy, and now here, when God is in control, I have so many more. Another thing as well, in my first time in IT, I was working in IT. First time I applied for a job, I was an internship, something like this. I was a trainee. I went to the test, but I didn't pass in the test. So even though the girl called
Brazil?
me, this was in Brazil.
Okay.
Just like another testimony as well. I didn't pass in the test, and the girl called me, "Hey, you didn't pass in the test, but I'm gonna hire you." So you see, that's the glitch.
Those are like,
that I see. God wants something to me in there, and of course that I create more friends in that job. I learned many things that I couldn't learn in anywhere else in that job, that position, and I keep growing. So those are the experience that I have with God when God is talking to me. Something strange word in my day, my routine. Yeah. Oh, if I'm on the freeway and I'm missing train, so I do every single day that entrance, but I miss. I see in my mind, something's happening here. So let's check it out. Sometimes it's nothing, but sometimes most of the time you see something. God is doing something, and
Cool.
Yeah.
And that's what you say there is special, man. Like even the thing that might seem like a bad thing, right? Man, I got to deliver these auto parts and I just missed the exit that I drive every day. But having that perspective, okay, this is not normal.
Yeah, maybe
God could be doing something.
Yeah, maybe if I took the right, something could happen to me or accident,
Yeah.
something bad, or
Yeah.
even something good as well that was not on purpose of God. So I know God is like
Yeah.
always playing the video game with Diego, video game like
The Diego
go
video
this
game.
place.
No, I love that, man. And like everything you're talking about, dude, like obviously it's within the lens of Diego's perspective, Diego's life, but people can transpose that to their lives, right? Everyone can share at least one time in their lives where they moved from something comfortable, something known, to something uncomfortable. And if not, people are here and they're thinking about this. Because one thing that I do believe God has ingrained all of us with is this desire for really glory to glory, desire for change, desire for movement. And we all know when we're stagnant. Like even if someone denies it, right? You know it's denial. They know it deep down. Like, hey, this is not. I know I should be moving into this. I know I should be going into this next step. And it's and I really think that's the true definition of success. Isn't necessarily to hit the mark. It's to continue to get closer and closer to that mark and trusting God with it. So what you're sharing can be applied to other people's lives for sure. To switch maybe topics a little bit or to segue into something else. Obviously, like with Vibe, we're part of a young adults ministry here at church, and one thing that that we've been seeing a lot of areas where young adults are needing more attention and things that people are struggling with that we're jumping into. In your opinion, like what are things that you're like, man, I feel like young adults are struggling with X, Y, and Z. Like what do you think are the biggest things right now that our generation is kind of?
I think nowadays the progress, we have the technology progress, social media, too much information to the people, and it looks like too much billboard, too much propaganda, and they think their lives supposed to be like another one's lives. And
I want to be an influencer.
Yeah,
I want to do it.
They always try to compare with someone in the social media, and because I think that's a dumb thing to do is compare yourself with another person. You have to compare yourself with your older self. Like you went 5 years ago. You have to do this comparison with between yourself, not with another people. So I think the huge enemy nowadays is social media. If you don't know how to use that, you can use for good, but if you all the time you are stagnant in your home and you have a regular job, working, sleeping, eating, working, sleeping, eating, and watching this social media, you're gonna think, hey, I'm missing something. Those people, they are traveling, they are like dating, getting kids, they're getting married, they have their homes, they're doing everything. I'm still here. I'm not doing anything, but that's a kind of lie. So everyone has your life, everyone has your moments, but nobody shows your bad moments on the internet. So I think that's an illusion when you start seeing what another person when you see they're doing. Like nobody's gonna post something bad. Everyone's gonna post like,
dude, it's real, man, right? And we see that, and so I've been like opening my eyes to that more. With. We only see the final product. We see the photo that took maybe an hour to set up. I was watching like a documentary recently for this artist, this musician, Jacob Collier. He did this really cool thing in New Year's where he played MIDI notes, so like an electronic keyboard, right? Kind of like data into the computer. But when he played a song, he was able to write like Happy New Year on a DAW, on a digital audio interface. And he went on a show and they're like, man, you're so amazing. Like, how'd you do it? He's like, I was there for hours. People only saw the 30-second clip that went viral on the internet, but he's like, I was there forever working on this thing. And that's the reality in everything else, right? And if we even bring it to our lives now, like when we, with worship team, right? We had one of our leaders, Christina, preaching at our all-team meeting this past week, and she used this quote, which was like, we don't prepare for Sunday, we prepare for the glory. And we also say, we don't just look at Sunday, that 20-minute worship set. That's not really what it's about. It's about everything else we're cultivating up to. It's this practice time, there's devotion time, there's individual devotions, collective devotions, everything leading up to this picture that gets painted. And I think what you're speaking to is a little bit of that. It's like being able to trust that there's going to be all these signs in our lives, all these things that lead to the picture, But our society is dealing with the billboard dilemma right now. Everything looks so good on social media.
Yeah, the more you seek God, the more you're gonna see. Because God is talking all the time. He's talking to us,
It's
but
good.
sometimes you cannot see because you're not seeking for Him. So, and most of the society, they like unbelievers, even believers who just go to the church and don't seek God, don't start studying deep the Word of God, and they kept blind for the things that happen, and so the enemy comes in and gonna show you whatever he wants to show you, like social media, another one's lives. But if you don't have identity, if you don't know God, if you don't seek God, and you're gonna have a hard time to try to understand what happened in the society, what happened to you inside. So I think the best way, at least to me, because you see, even before the pandemic, a lot of depression, kids with depression, even kids from 10 until 25.
So much.
Yeah. With the video games now, you can play like old days. We could play with our brothers, but we're not playing with our brothers anymore or friends. Beside, people are playing like electronic with virtual people from another like country or continent. And so the more that we do that, the more they're keeping like lonely and just like looks like the virtual world is best than the real world now.
Wow.
So because
that's true.
Because you have that void inside of us. Since the fall we have that void, and this void we have to feel coming back to God when God he reveals to us. So if you don't feel with God, you're never gonna be satisfied. You're gonna try to feel with some kind of trip, lifestyle, like rock and roll band, like a try, like success in business, or love, family, like, and those things gonna pass someday. It will be done. So the void's gonna come back. Well, the only thing the only thing is gonna last forever is the eternity with God. So that's where you should put our hearts, seeking God. So it's not gonna be like every single day you're gonna be like cool. You're gonna have your downside, your sad days. You're gonna be like lonely someday.
You are gonna have trials.
Yeah,
you are gonna have
some
challenges.
you're gonna be able to understand what happened to you because you're being prepared for something else. When you have God, you have that comfort. Because if you put your heart in those things, this earth. I like to see the earth like a cage, like you put your Guinness pig in there, and why are you worrying about so much that our lives is not here? That's not our home. So look, like thinking eternity, So think more,
think eternity,
think bigger. So don't waste your time. Like try to be something. I'm not saying to you like be a monk or a hippie, something like this, but just don't put your heart 100% in those things, because those things will be gone someday.
It's true. And I know your heart too. Like you're not saying just relax and don't worry about anything. It's like still go for your goals, go for your dreams.
Yeah.
But like it's knowing two things. It's knowing that the billboard we should be looking at isn't the Instagram billboard, isn't the Facebook billboard, but it's the God billboard. He is the image. He's the one we should be looking to, trusting, and knowing that there is going to be some hard times and some failure. There are going to be some circumstances that happen. I missed the exit, right? And that's a very minimal, simple one, but there are going to be things that happen that you just don't know. What was beyond that door, what was after that door. So that's interesting. I want to ask you, how would you, because you mentioned success, how would you define success?
Success to me is that moment when, even the moment when you came from your job for a single day and you got home, you see your family in there. So that's a success. Your success is to me is when you wake up and you have the whole day, you can walk, you can do things, you can redo things that you didn't last day. So, because I used to think that success, you be on, like you said, you be on the top, be a businessman, have a lot of money, cars, fame, be on the stage,
Work hard, play hard.
Yeah. So that's good too, but I think it's still gonna have a void in there. So, but to me nowadays, success is to be chilling on God's words and trying to understand, try to bring wisdom to myself. And just simple things like yesterday you have the question about your dreams. Janelle wasn't there. I told her I have no dreams because like to me of course I have, but to me I want to be like with the community, with God things, because I already have so many things in my life, and wasn't that cool thing that I think you'd be, you know.
Yeah.
I've been there once, so I know how it is. That's why you see like famous people getting suicide, getting the drugs, getting like spoiling their lives,
Dealing with
because
that void.
they have success, fame, they have whatever they want, and but even though the void is still there. So to me, success to me is this moment right now. You're doing a podcast. I'm with my friend here.
Friends.
Dave,
Whole
to
squad.
both Dave, Christina. And to me, lives right now, I'm out of my home. I'm out of my comfort zone doing something that's great because it's going to be forever. My kids is going to see this video we're recording. That's amazing to me. So I'm not
Shout
that guy
out to
who...
Diego's kids. How epic is it going to be to them to see this?
I'm not that guy. Like, I'm not gonna say I'm a radical guy, but I'm not like seeking those small thing anymore because I'm like, you see, I'm good. I went to the ministry school. I'm doing Bible college. Those things like is keeping me more like successful. How would I say? So I don't know, alive. So because all the sense that I was looking for, it was right in front of me. All the time was with me.
Wow.
God was with me. I wasn't with him that time.
Legit.
But now I know. Now we are together. Now we're doing things here. We are doing.
Yeah.
You're going to do more, even more. So. Yeah.
Yeah, and well, I mean, as you speak, man, it just feels like one of those moments where it's like, look up, the harvest is ready, kind of moment. It's like look at the fields kind of moment. You know, like God's been doing something. Doors are open. You're through those doors. You've walked through them right now, and life is flowing. And success, I think that's a great definition of success. I know you like expanded on it a lot, but success is to be able to like, I think, sit back and say I'm in the right spot. I'm not at the end goal yet. I'm not, at the full path yet, but I'm in the right spot. I've got what I want right now, and feeling like content with that is very interesting. It's very interesting, but it's so legit.
Man.
It's legit. I really love it. And maybe we'll jump into one more question as we wrap up. But if you could, we talked a little bit about young adult needs and some of the things, the peer pressure, the pressure for success, kind of that discrepancy. If you could give your younger self a tip when you were kind of chasing after everything else, let me try this. If you could kind of, meet Diego at age 25 or 24, what tip would you give him in the sense of like, hey man, worry a little less about this, worry about this. What would you say?
Yeah, concerned about things, worrying. I think the tip was don't be so rushed. Don't be like, because I used to plan everything. My fear was losing time with something that I shouldn't lose time with that, because everyone has 24 hours per day. So my plan is to be productive, whatever, in the job, in my family. And so I was like a robot, doing things, making stuff. And so my tip would be chill out. Don't worry about it, bro. Be still. God sent you to be still.
Come on.
Yeah. Because, I had a plan, like to build a career, la carrera. It's hard to say this word. Career, yeah.
You got it, bro. You got it.
And if my hobbies, my band, so everything was planned, and I was so like concerned all the time. What I'm doing here, I think should be done those things, not that thing. So all the time concerned, like my mind like almost blowing up. So I'd say, bro, just be still. Everything you're doing that's not gonna stand for much time. So let God, trust in God,
cool.
pour your heart in God.
God uses it all, but it's cool to hear that perspective.
Yeah, but what's good past for all those things, because you learn so much. When you stop and think, hey, what am I doing with my life? So and you can answer this question like giving yourself to God, putting yourself in God's way. And little by little, you're gonna learn things, and He's gonna reveal to you, and you're gonna start. I should be here before. Like I see, like Emily doing the Bible college, Travis, all those guys so young. I used to, like in Brazil, we don't have like those things. I choose the wrong. I'm not gonna say I'm gonna choose the wrong way, but I could choose something to be more today. Like I'm 31 now. And if I had choose that way and be more deep in the word of the God, I think today I'll be, I don't know, you never know, right?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think
It's fun to think about these different paths that could happen.
I see those kids here like so involved in those things. I choose the punk rock and roll concert pathway, but if I kept in the Lord in God's way and be more deep in the word, so I think I would suffer less. But suffering doesn't mean like, so you can learn from suffering
Yeah.
as well. So I don't know what could happen today.
All
but
things work together for good.
yeah, that I believe it so
Takes
much
it.
in that.
Yeah.
Yeah. That my tip would be just chill out. Don't worry.
Just
don't
chill
rush.
out. That's a good word, bro.
Yeah, and trust in God, trust in the Lord. So
Yeah.
everything's gonna be okay.
That's amazing. Bro,
No
it was a
fear.
pleasure, man. It was so good.
Good.
Thank you so much. I mean, so many people can take away lessons from this, even though, like I said, through your lens, through your story, but there is an invitation in what you share for people to trust God, for people to trust in community, for people to trust in signs. Like, what if we all were just like, would take just 10 minutes a day, or less than that, honestly, to just say, God, what are the doors that you've opened? What are the good things that are happening around me right now? You know, and sometimes it's a little harder to find those, but some days you're gonna be like, man, there's so much good around me. So all those things, bro, that you're talking about, how to define success, I think those are really special. So thanks for sharing that, dude.
Thank you. Thank you for
Absolutely.
the invitation. Thank you for having me. Thank
Yeah.
you, guys.
That's a wrap. Let's do it.
And let's do the second one someday.